Welcome to Enlightening the Mind, a weekly talk show that reaches out to the independent, free-minded thinker who doesn't just go for what they've been told or led to believe. Rather, they choose to use their own minds and concepts to help them solve issues that affect and shape how we live our lives today. And now, without further ado, please welcome in the host of Enlightening the Mind, Mr. Stacey Harris.
The American dream is a national ethos of the United States in which freedom includes a promise of the possibility of prosperity and success. In the definition of the American dream by James Adams in 1931, life should be better and richer and fuller for everyone, with opportunity for each according to his or her ability or achievement, regardless of their social class, circumstances of birth. The idea of the American dream is rooted in the United States Declaration of Independence, which proclaims that all men are created equal and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But is that the statement in itself just a dream, as many Americans have found themselves hopeless in the pursuit of what they thought was the perfect American way of life? And is the Constitution of the United States illegal, as some are now proclaiming it to be? If so, what does this mean for our country and way of life? To discuss this, we have our esteemed panel led by Mr. Christopher Johnson, Jr. And Chris, I want to start off right off the bat, and I want to ask you this one question. Is the Constitution of the United States illegal? And if it is, what does this mean for the country and our American dream? Chris?
I honestly believe through research that it was conceived through deceit. It was a total deception, and that it was not an honest constitution. These people were part of the British colony and civilization who came here. They were separatists from the reign of King George. And I believe that certain words were put in place to deceive that whole King George ruling or reign, a part of that whole Tudor family. And, of course, they say, well, they went to war, but you have to understand that that before the Constitution was put in place, the British argument was that they protected these separatists, these colonists who came here around the 1620. At first, they were protected from the French wars for from 7 to 20 years. I mean, England had been at war with France for so long, the British literally had to protect those that came here, and for that reason alone, they were taxed or due back payments to the British government for protection. So all along, the separatists, I believe, knew that they wanted to separate themselves from England, but did not make it known to be so when they first left the country of England.
Well, Chris, let's take a look. Take a look at this right here. The Declaration of Independence is some British lawyers are reporting that the statement was made at a debate in Philadelphia between British and American lawyers over the legitimacy of the United States of America. At the debate, it says attorneys and also these lawyers from British, they said that this Constitution is not legal. It was not grounds for secession, and that it shouldn't have happened. It is actually treasonous. Let me bring in my brother Ital to come in and comment on this, sir. You have some thoughts on this right here, brother Ital?
My fellow. Yes. Oh, yes. Do you hear me?
Yes, sir. I hear you. How you doing, sir?
Okay. Happy new moon. Yes. The Declaration of Independence is a very powerful document. The reason I feel that the party that wants to say that it's meaningless don't want to give credence to its divinity. So if a document is designed, says, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God endows them a decent respect to opinions. For mankind requires that they should declare the cause which impels them to the separation. Now, you can't argue with that. That's some divine technology right there.
Now, guys, if I may, can I put in for a minute?
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff. How you doing?
No, how you doing?
Jeff, get closer to your microphone, please.
Okay, can you hear me?
Go ahead, Jeff.
Okay, look at it from this point of view, y'all. I'm on the fence about the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution being illegal. In a sense it is, in a sense it's not. We got to look at this. Who does it apply to? Who does the Constitution apply to when it was implemented? Who does the Declaration of Independence apply to when it was implemented over in this land from England? That we, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, tranquility, et cetera, that we, the people, did not apply to a certain group in this country. It did not apply to the Negroes or blacks or African Americans. It did not apply to the Hispanic or Latin community. It applied to the Caucasians that came over here. Let me give you a scenario. If I had a wife and kids and we decide to move from Florida to California, we take our pets, our cats, dogs, and fish, and we move to a new state, a new house. The rules of the house will apply to the people. It won't apply to the animals. When we came over to this country, we were the animals. The rules did not apply to us. So that we, the people, we were not included in that we. Only the Caucasians that came to this country, that's who it applied to. So now I would say to this day, yes, illegal in a sense, but then we got to look at who did it apply to back then when it was implemented and when this country was founded. It didn't apply to us.
Jeff, I believe the issue is what makes it illegal as far as their argument with their Englishmen counterparts.
It's totally legal.
Well, I don't think. Well, let me. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr.
Can I say something? Oh.
They had us in mind. They had all things in mind when they did it. So everybody is included. We just have to understand the magic of it.
Go ahead, Sarah.
I was just thinking that if they were really looking for a whole new way of life, why did they bring it here? Why did they bring the same thought process here instead of coming over here and discovering this new way of living and doing something slightly different?
Mr. Ital,
she makes a great point because the same people that ran the Indians out of the eastern land of North America are the same ones that set the Constitution, Declaration of Independence up. So, I mean, they couldn't be trusted in the first place.
And had slaves.
They took it by force.
Mr. Ital, do you want to clear this up for me? Because I'm seeing to get...
You see these guys, you see these guys that created this great piece of art here. They understood the laws of life. They knew what they were doing. So that's why they've been so successful. It was actually ordained. That's why we see all the relics, all the esoteric.
Well, let me cut in, Mr. Iton. Let me ask you this question then. Okay, you're saying that it was ordained. You make it seem as though they did the right thing. Now, I want to be perfectly clear to our listeners. I'm listening to my panel, and I understand where they're coming from, but I have to say this is how I feel about it. I think it's illegal. Like everything about this country is illegal. If you really want to break it down, everything in this country is wrong. Okay, the way they treat their citizens, the way this country was founded, Mr. Ital, I don't understand how you could say that this is founded by some type of grace when they literally destroyed the Indians to steal it. And France and the people overseas in Britain, God bless them for saying, look, you guys need to stop these atrocities. I mean, come on, this whole country is founded off evil.
I agree.
I mean, Stacey, it's proof today that they were not successful. Look, they've rejoined this country with the United Kingdom, with their British counterparts. So maybe that was a conspiracy all along to make everyone think that there was going to be a separate government. Well, in fact, we're all attached with the British government, especially through currency and the international bankers.
So
we borrow money from them. I mean, was this all really a conspiracy of the whole thing?
Sarah, you make a good point. Sarah asked this question. She wonders if Christianity is the problem, and I want to throw that out to the panel. Do you guys think Christianity is the problem? Yes or no? And explain your thoughts.
Be more specific. Okay, is the problem to what?
Okay, well, they were they were programmed by their religion to believe a certain way. These men were led by God to make this declaration. I understand Brother Itall's concept there. I don't, however, think that they had maybe grasp of spirituality. They were just Christians and
you see the country was built on, you got to realize that the country was built on illumination, and that's what makes it perfect. And it's just a wheel, you know, like you talk about the wheel of palm and the wheel of time.
What do you mean?
I gotta agree with that. I gotta agree with her.
But that's why they're so successful. God has blessed this union.
Go ahead. You want to spin there fast? Go ahead, Jeff. You trying to say? What are you trying with?
Yeah, I agree. She made an excellent point. Christianity is one of the many problems. Because like I touched on weeks ago, these people, this country was founded off of corruption from top to bottom, from day one. So, yeah, it is illegal across the board because they exiled against King George's will over here, and when they came over here, they murdered the Indians and Mexicans and started from that way.
Yeah, but those separatists were not Christians, though, just to clarify.
They brought that same group brought the Christian religion over here. And remember now, are you telling me?
Listen, wait. Those that came here were Catholic. They did not agree with the Protestant leadership of the British or the English king, which was George. And that was they were trying to get away from that.
As religion then. Maybe religion is the problem.
Let's make the major title religion, whether it's Catholic or Christian. That is one of the problems because
it was done for a religious base. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Are you telling me that these
like the retort?
We'll say that again, Stacey.
Brother Itall do like the retort because Brother Itall said that he feels that. Go ahead.
We should stop looking at it from a peasant point of view and look at it from the illuminated point of view. Then we would understand it. You see, we are caught up in the rhetoric.
I think what you're saying is in the bigger picture that things happen the way they're supposed to, and really all we can try to do is be a positive impact and I don't know.
Well, we have to make good of opportunities. We have to make good of opportunities. You know, when we see windows.
Man, there are no opportunities. Okay. Cut, guys. Okay, I understand that everybody wants to be politically correct. I understand that. Man, I feel y'all. Okay, red, white, and blue, G.I. Joe, gung-ho, you know, God bless America, red, white, and blue. But, man, I'm finna tell the truth of it. You're never going to get yourself ahead if you keep, listen, ladies and gentlemen, the wool is over the sheep's eyes. Okay, Brother Itall, please, man, I respect you as a spiritualist, Brother Itall. I really do. And I don't understand what the message is that you're trying to relay to our listeners, okay? The bottom line is you speak of rebellion. You speak of unity coming together, but you also speaking for this crooked government, okay? I'm calling a spade a spade. I'm not afraid. Okay, now, Brother Itall, if you're afraid, then that's one thing that you should address within yourself. But we honestly are trying to tell the truth. I don't go for this. Sarah, as far as you saying it's religion, okay, could religion have something to do with it? I don't know. Maybe that's the big conspiracy. Okay, that's what we're trying to figure out. But I don't see where you guys are saying that this country is right in its creation when it killed people in order to start the country. This country is made off the blood, sweat, and tears of its original founders. They were stolen people that came over here. So I want you guys to clear that up, Brother Itall. Clear that up. Do you honestly think that this is the right way to go?
If you study archaeology and you study, civilization, you'll find that sacrifice have always been the key. Now, we at this time should be evolved enough to realize that war makes no sense, see. But there's only a few of us that realize that. See, if we realize it, once a few realize, like I always say, everybody else is going to feel it too, see. So it's like you have to understand the codes, like they say, the two or more together in my name, I am there, and all that thing like that. You know what I'm saying, about faith, just have a, you know what I'm saying, the scriptures.
Do everyone understand that we all the sacrifice, generation, in order for this country to have been the success that it has?
Yeah, I think that I can agree with that mentality too. But then it's on us too to try and turn things around, because we know a better way and we understand that war is futile, as Brother Ital was saying. Yeah. Maybe it's our responsibility.
That note's breaking, but when we come back, we're going to talk about, is the American dream just a dream? We're also going to talk about, should the Casey Anthony name be released? You're listening to Lightning Line. We're back with you in a moment.
Hi, I'm Terry Gillis, and you're listening to Enlightening the Mind, part of the Truth Seekers Network. You can catch us at twitter.com/enlightenminds and facebook.com/enlighteningthemindраdio. Check us out on our website, enlighteningthemind.com, for all the information and programs affiliated with our show. You can become a member. It's free to join. Become a part of the winning team that's spreading the message of true enlightenment to others. Our goal is to ultimately take back the earth from those who are deceiving us all and enlighten the world, and we can only do it one member at a time.
The Mayan calendar predicted the world would end on December 21st, 2012. But could they have had the date wrong? Could the world end sooner? And is President Obama really the Antichrist prophesied in the book of Revelations? We'll discuss this and the hidden prophetic symbols that are all over mainstream media and television next week, live on Enlightening the Mind on Blog Talk Radio. Or you can catch our podcast replay on our website, enlighteningthemind.com.
Enlightening the Mind. I'm Lacey Harris, and we definitely have a great show for you all next week. We're definitely going to be getting some of these conspiracies. We'll be getting into, some of the prophecies that are out there. But before we do that, I want to go back, and I want to ask the jury, not the panel, this. Is the American dream starting? We live in this reality. Before we do that, I want to ask you this one question first. Should the Case Anthony jurors' names be released? Now, here's where I find it very strange. So I want to listen to mindset. When you go to, the thing about a jury, you go to the jury in some of these cases. But it has ever happened, ever released the names. I'm going to talk to Chris. When have they ever released the names of the jurors? And should they release Anthony juror just because the verdict that came down in that case, Chris?
All right, Brother Stacy, try me one more time, buddy. We got to get your sound consistent here so I can hear that question.
Good question? No. Okay, then I'm going to go to Brother Ital. I'm back to you. Brother Ital, do you think that, that's with you, Chris, let me ask you, do you think that the Casey Anthony names have been big?
Well, let me just jump in there and say what I believe you're trying to say, Stacey, is that should they be releasing these names? Is it legal for? Honestly, I think it's very dangerous if they do so. I never heard of them releasing names. I don't see the significance of them releasing names in a jury, especially if the sentence was going to go towards someone having a death sentence if they were convicted for the crime. And in this case, from what I understand, there was a first-degree murder of the lady's daughter, and I forget the daughter's name, but that's not important. And if she was convicted, she was supposed to get the death sentence or what have you. So this was a very important case. I believe the daughter's name was Kylie. And no, I'm totally against release. Well, what's the importance, y'all, of them releasing the names of the jury? I mean, that is so dangerous. Some of the jurors are saying that they're afraid to leave. They feel like they're caged in the house, in their own home. And one juror, I believe, left her job, quit her job, and left her home state and had to start a whole nother life, I assume, because of the threats that she was receiving from her coworkers.
But Chris, but what I'm saying, can you hear me? Chris, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, what I'm saying was, and I apologize for that interruption. You guys couldn't hear me. I really had that. What I'm asking is, and I hear, I'm saying, should these jurors be released? Okay, when you go through a trial, never in history have I heard that there's names of the juror members, because what this does is it's a double standard. I mean, the girls in on this here to see if they agree with me. Say you are picked for jury, and then you come on there, and then you can convict somebody, and then they release you because they don't like the verdict that you. Aren't you going to be guilty? Because they could release you and harass, like they're doing some of these. Just one juror had to leave her home. She wrote that she had to leave home because she received death because they didn't come back with the guilty verdict. And my second question is the sentence where everybody who goes and stands in front of a judge or a court is proven guilty out of fear? Sarah, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, well, I'm going to have to completely say that I would be terrified to be that responsible for someone's life. I did not vote most of my life in order to avoid jury duty. Now they're doing it according to who has the driver's license. So, I'm fearful of the day they ask me, and I really hope that I can find a way to get out of it because I think that it would be a horrible place to be in, and if they're going to start releasing the names of people and put my life in danger over something that I was called to do and forced to do by my government, then I'm thinking that that's not really fair. That's not cool. I could go to another country and live, and it wouldn't be as dangerous.
And see, that's the perfect point, sir, that you made. I want to expound wholeheartedly to the panel. Sarah, great point. Sarah said that, okay, I'm going to be for my life. Not only do I have to whether this person live or die, now I have to I'm going to live or die. Do you guys think that they're setting the system up so everybody's going to be convicted? Jeff, can hear from you?
I think, it's going to be a police state.
Yeah.
They're going to be able to do whatever they want to you.
Go ahead.
Okay.
You go ahead. I'm having trouble hearing you guys. Go ahead.
I came out of debt thinking that if I didn't owe anybody, then they wouldn't have any reason to put me in some debtor's prison because I know that at some point in time that even that is going to be a problem, something that they can do to oppress us in some way if we continue on the path that we're on, if we allow it. And I'm one person, I can't not allow it by myself.
Once you get in that cycle, then you're kind of stuck in it. You get stuck into that cycle of using the credit and using that to get through by.
Chris, what are your thoughts? Should they release the names of these jurors?
Absolutely not. They should not release the names of jurors. I think the primary safety precaution should be to protect those on the jury. Look, if they're not going to do it, definitely don't call me to be a part of a jury if that's going to be allowed. I don't even like the process anyway or be involved in the system as is. So I think it is totally bogus for them to even do something like that. I mean, he's supposed to be smart, intelligent, college degree, earned people running this judicial system, and yet they cannot see where the risk is. I mean, come on. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that that's just completely dangerous and unsafe for those that are on the jury.
Just the point, Chris. They don't care anymore. They don't care anymore. I want to bring Brother Ital in. Brother Ital, do you think that they should release the name of the jurors who was on this trial, or a trial for that matter?
I see we have a consensus on this one. We all agree.
Exactly. And here's my thoughts. I want to add this in closing so we can move on. What is the purpose? Why would you release the names of the jurors? Do you not fear their lives as well? Now, you said they made the wrong decision and that little girl was killed by her mother, but what kind of society do we live in where we want to release the names of these people so that we can kill them or they're going to be in danger? That's what we all should think about. Moving on, I want to ask the panel this question. Is the American dream just that, a dream? Simply put, from your perspective, from top to bottom, Chris, is the American dream just a dream? Go ahead, Chris.
It's just a dream. Sorry about that. It's just an illusion. It's something that was sold to the American people to get the people on the same accord as the government, to get you voting, get you liking your government, loving your leaders, and you thinking that you can achieve and succeed all this stuff with just a little bit of hard work, grind, and sacrifice, and it'd be just equal across the board. I do not believe that it's equal across the board. I believe that Westerners that came here are given the opportunity with a silver spoon in their mouth to have opportunities ahead of everybody else. And it has always been that way up until, I want to say up until the point that we're in now, honestly. But it's an illusion.
Jeff, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree 100% with what you guys said. It's a dream. It's a facade. It's a false item being sold. Hey, we're going to sell you this item. Once we receive your money, the item just vanishes in your hands. But back on the Casey Anthony trial, I don't mean to change the subject, but I believe that is another joke aspect of this country, the legal system. The way the defense attorneys, the prosecution play with the minds of the jury. They say, well, you can sway the jury to think this, sway the jury to think that. It's a sad example of this country. The way people, we already deal with enough adversity and suffering in life. Now we have to be obligated to pass judgment on another human being.
Well, Jeff, it's not just no, let me cut you off, Jeff, because I want you to answer this question. It's not just, Jeff, that they're trying to sway the jurors. Jeff, they're literally trying to not only sway you guys to vote, they want, now they're trying to force you, because who's going to get on the stand? And to have their names released.
Exactly. Now, I don't agree with the jury's name should be released. I don't think so, because they are being obligated to perform a duty that could literally lead to their death or crime committed against them or some type of harassment, death threats or whatever. So I don't think their name should at all be released because of that reason. And to me,
we also have to look at it from
we also
have to, excuse me, Jeff, we also have to look at it also from the deeper picture that the ultimate plan of destroying a society is finding ways to turn the people against one another.
Against each other.
So,
exactly.
So through that is the most effective way to destroy an economy or a society of people is, look, the government barely has to do anything if we can get the people to turn against one another. So this is definitely one of the most effective ways to do it. It's very intelligent on their part, I have to admit.
Right, and by it being a circus environment, it's a circus clown show environment against the people, and I don't think the jury's name should be released. Because think about it, you have a group of people, 12 men, woman jury, dictating a person's life, their livelihood for the rest of the duration here on Earth. Okay, what happened to circumstantial evidence? What happened to this God-given instinct we have as human beings? But the system tells us, hey, don't go by that God-given instinct. Go by what we can prove. This system we told you to believe in. Go by what we tell you. Forget what God put in you naturally. Go by what we tell you, this system. And this is what they hide behind. They can do so much dirt, but if you don't have proof against them, they get off scot-free. And that's what
you're right about that, Jeff. I don't mean to cut you off, and you're definitely right. You're definitely right about that, and we definitely should understand that we all in agreement that they should not release the names, and we would definitely get into the court system. But I do want to move forward. I want to keep it moving. Is this the illusion of the United States of America? Is it just a dream? And let me return to Brother Ital.
Nightmare.
Is this, like Sarah said, is this a dream or has this become a nightmare? Brother Ital?
Yeah, it's become a nightmare.
Even through all the pain and the suffering, I found it to be a very beautiful dream.
Brother Ital, I hate to get you a second week in a row, but I think the pain and suffering has impaired your judgment. I think your judgment been off. So this is not a wonderful dream. It has potential.
Man, guys, I'm honestly beginning to think that Brother Ital is a double agent But, you know, we got to look into that more deeply. I think he's a double agent. But moving on, Terry, do you think that this is American or, as you say, a nightmare? Go ahead, Terry. Expound on it.
It's totally become a nightmare. I mean, look, everything is just kind of taking a real downfall, and we're going into, a second depression? I mean... But I'm trying. I feel him. I feel him. Try to look to the positive and hope that things are going to get better. But good Lord,
let me.
He said we're going into a second depression.
Let me give you an example, y'all. I read something recently. Do y'all know what the student college graduation tuition debt is in this country? It is
and we
over $1 trillion.
Hold on. On that note, Jeff, On that note, we're going to take a break because we're definitely going to get into that. And I'm going to let you tell us about what the student deficit rate is. Also, I'm going to get Sarah's responses. Is this the American dream or is this a nightmare? You're listening to Enlightening the Mind.
Hi, this is Jeff. Hope you're enjoying this energy boost for the brain roller coaster ride coming from Enlightening the Mind Radio on blogtalkradio.com.
Hi, I'm Terry Gillis. You may know me from Enlightening the Mind Radio, but when I'm not working to enlighten and inform the minds of others, I am the owner and manager of Creative Oddities, unique gifts, handmade jewelry and art made one of a kind for the one on your mind. So if you want that special gift for you or someone special, log on to creativeoddities.net. There's sure to be a gift that will enlighten and inspire you.
Yeah, you're back with Enlightening the Mind. I'm your host, and we're talking about, is this the American dream or is this a nightmare? And I want to bring Sarah in. Sarah, let me get your thoughts. Is this the American dream or is this a nightmare? And what are your thoughts on that, Sarah?
Well, I had a minute over the break to kind of digest some things that the other members of the panel said. I like the American illusion. I think that was how it started, and it was maybe an illusion created by people who could profit from the average citizen, or from, if they had something to gain, it was an illusion nonetheless. However, in this day and age, it's become a nightmare. And it's like Terry was saying, it's a nightmare, but it's because we're in the second depression when we haven't recovered from the first depression. Some people did, but some people never really did.
Well said, Sarah. I like that, an illusion. You like it. Mm-hmm. Excellent illusion. Go ahead. I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, Sarah.
Oh, no, I'm really just kind of at a loss. I'm really anti-American dream. The whole mentality is it goes against my grain, and my earliest childhood memories, I was appalled at what people could do without feeling responsible for their actions. I mean, I was conscious of plastic whenever it first came into use, and then Sarah,
let me ask you this. Sarah, let me cut in and ask you this right quick. Okay, so now you're saying it's a nightmare. Now, is that because of what society has told us the American dream was? You go out, you buy a house, you get a job, you go to college, and then you get this nice big picket fence? Or are you seeing that there is some crookedness involved? Because honestly with you, this could be, like Brother Ital said, this could actually be a nice place. I mean, the dream that they try to sell you is a nice dream. I mean, you work hard. You just like when you're a planter, you're a farmer. You plant your seeds, you work hard, and then you produce your crops. What has happened is we're starting to see that this is just a falsehood that they put out, a false falsetto that they put out to make us look left when they trying to screw us right. And I think people are starting to look on that, except for Brother Ital, but everybody else is starting to see that happening. And I'm going to let Brother Ital come in and defend himself. I'm not just going to throw pot shots on him.
Thank you, because if you become an observer, you see a very beautiful dream. You see people marching over here, people dying over here, birds flying over there. Everything's going on. So,
Brother Ital, do you have any problems with the United States of America? Do you think that this is the perfect place, and do you think that everything is hunky-dory? Straight up, I'm just asking you point blank.
Hey, it's the way it is because we got these different levels of consciousness. So it's the way it is. It's gonna always be a dream until everybody wake up.
Chris, you're laughing. Why are you laughing, Chris? You want to say anything about this?
Yeah, he said it because everything is just the way it is, and that's how we're supposed to accept it. It's almost like, it's like going back to some shows we had before, where it's like everyone is saying we do not have anything to do with our own fate. Just let everything happen as is, and you're supposed to accept it and say, oh, it's all beautiful. But, see, that's the matrix that they're selling to you as a reality, because we have not learned to build and create our own reality of happiness.
But
humanity is doomed unless we each learn to accept responsibility for our actions. Plain and simple. Everything we do, even the words we speak, make a difference. They are an imprint.
If we get satisfied with this being the beauty, as Brother Aito has put it, then you know what? We're all going to be so to this content stage that we're not going to make any difference or change for our futures at all. We're just going to go ahead and continue voting and smoking our cigarettes or whatever it is that we do, looking at the birds over here and looking at people dying over there, as Brother Aito said,
But like 2012 is coming up. You got to feel the energy and know where the change is, then you wouldn't even worry about it. It's all good. It's going to be all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We have made it. We have made it. So that's a beautiful thing. Sojourner Truth didn't make it. We made it. So, they can't die in vain. We had to rejoice.
Well, moving on. Okay, and I agree with you, Brother Aito. I'm not clear. We're going to definitely move on a little bit. Let me ask you guys this. Moving forward in y'all perfect world of peace and tranquility, do you all think that illegal aliens are taking jobs from Americans, or is it just the way it is, and it's like we all should just say, hey, do what you do? But if you look at
the American dream, we sold it so hard, people in other countries thought that this was the place to be. And now we're overwhelmed, so it's our fault.
Now, here's my thoughts on that. Okay, I understand. I'm going to let you guys – here's my thoughts on that. Okay, people are saying that illegal aliens are coming to America taking the jobs. I think that's false. I think that they're only coming here. First of all, they're not illegal aliens coming here. They're actually the true residents of this country. So if anybody's illegal, we are legal. Okay, that's first and foremost. Second of all, they're not coming over here taking your jobs. The owners of the businesses are giving them to them. If anybody's to blame the owners of the businesses for hiring them. You got American applications and you got these foreigners. It is not, the foreigners are not putting a gun to anybody's head and say, hire me. I think that we always want to blame somebody else for our downfalls and our failures. Let's look at this from straight point, case in point. It is not their fault. It's our fault. You want to respond? Go ahead.
And that's another false illusion of the American dream about the aliens coming over here. They're not just coming over here taking our jobs. They're being invited over here. Now, let me elaborate on this about the college dream, which is another example of a false illusion. The American students in this country, debt to these colleges has surpassed $1 trillion. $1 trillion. It has surpassed $1 trillion. People in their 40s, 30s, 20s, and 50s are still paying off their tuition. Yeah, they made, and this is on an all-time high. Kids with college degree recipients are working at jobs that has nothing to do with what they went to school for. Yes, they may have been given a few more $1,000s a year by their company, but guess what that does? That puts them in a higher tax bracket. Now they're paying more money, and now they're losing more money for this college tuition. That'll never get paid off, hopefully in their lifetime. So, yeah, that's another false illusion. These kids think they can go to school, live the American dream, they got a college degree, and the college degree isn't doing them anything but giving them more money each year, putting them in a higher tax bracket, and they still not really coming out on top.
All right, Jeff. Now, let me ask you guys this here, Chris. Do you think that Jeff has a point that the college is part of the false American dream that has become a nightmare?
Oh, yes, heck yeah. I mean, great point, Jeff. I would like to know what the so-called illegal aliens are hearing about our country in order for them to even want to come back into this country the way it is. I mean, if they only knew how the college opportunities are pretty much sold to the American people in a false tense, they wouldn't want to come here anyway and try to pursue.
Well, Chris, that's the whole point of the show. I mean, this is the American dream. Everybody, to me, it's just an advertisement. United States of America is an advertisement. You know, hey, you come over here and you can say what you want to say, and you can do what you want to do, and this and that. Man, that is a lie. You can't say what you want to say anymore. Okay, you go out in the streets and say certain things, they're going to lock you up. Ask the people that's doing the Occupy movement who keep getting beat with sticks, stones, and tear gas for practicing their amendment right. Okay, ask the people back in the 60s when they marched and got trampled on by the dogs and cats and whatever, you know. So don't fall for this American illusion or whatever it is. Now,
great point. I mean, that supports exactly what I was saying. I mean, obviously, they're selling the American dream to everybody else in other nations, saying, yes, you could do this. I mean, even the Chinese. Look, how many Chinese have come here and trying to come here, thinking that they could start businesses for their family and turn the American dollar into $1 million over into their country when they go back or whatever. I mean, it's obviously false advertisement. It's an illusion.
Well, I mean, Chris, now let's take away to other people in other countries. This is not an illusion, because if you're a Chinese person, you can come over here to the United States of America and you don't have to pay taxes for 7 years. You can open up your businesses. So they are allowed the American dream. I think the thing that we should
more
say
so
is
than an American is.
Right. Maybe we should say
it's easier for them to start than anybody in America and to get an education.
But Stacey, what you miss is that they didn't tell those business entrepreneurs from these other nations that eventually they're going to start taking money out of the pockets of the American people and shut the economy down.
Wait a minute, but
not eventually. It's already done.
Right. That doesn't really matter. Listen to me. That doesn't really America. Maybe I should say this. Maybe I should say, is the American dream just a dream to Americans? Because foreigners can come over here and they live the good life. I mean, they live the American. They live the American dynasty because they're the only ones that's making it. Do you guys agree?
I mean, your foreigners.
They send their money home, and then they can take their knowledge and their businesses back home and build it there on our dime.
Well, that's exactly what's happening.
I've heard people tell me that that's what they do. So.
Hey, Stacey and panel, you guys, I enjoyed it. I loved it, but I got to fly out. So I'm going to definitely see you guys next week, all right? Got to fly out of here.
All right, man. Have a great flight, man. Be good.
Okay.
All right.
Talk to you later now.
All right. Jeff must be living the American dream because he can fly every week, you know, in and out.
Okay.
You know, that's another thing in itself. But now let me.
What I wanted to bring up is that, you know, a lot of our debt in our government debt is outside countries we owe the money to, not the actual taxpayers. One other time we talked about how if the debt was split up and then the people would receive the money, but if you look at the way it's broken down, the way I'm reading it is we really owe a lot of other countries debt in that money. And they're all in debt too. Go ahead.
Right. Well, let me ask you guys this, and I'll throw this out to the panel. Why is the United States indebted to other countries and not indebted to our own, or why aren't we doing the things to help our country and our citizens? Is there some type of agenda involved, or is that just how it works? Let me start with you, Brother Ital. Do you have anything to say?
Well, you all are very creative guys, so I know you realize that this is a very beautiful dream that we're having. I'll have to look at it from a capitalistic point of view.
Okay.
And, like I believe in change, and the people that control the situation, they believe in change also. They say, well, you Negroes have been here long enough. You should understand the dream, and you should be successful by now. You know, so we're going to, y'all supposed to have been moved on up, so we're going to let these wetbacks come over here, and, we're going to treat them a little bit. They understand the dream. See,
okay. Now, so let me just say this here. No offense to anybody out there that's listening. Brother Ital was just I guess speaking this by, but you know, and enlightening mind does not. You know, we understand.
And from a capitalist point of view.
Right, but let me do say this here, Brother Ital. I understand where you're coming from, and I think that you have it wrong. You're saying that we've been over here long enough. The American people have been fooled. They haven't had the opportunity to grow and live this dream. Okay, it was doomed from the start. It was just a false lie from the start. As far as people coming over here and getting the benefits and the money, I mean, let's look at it. Terry, you're a business owner, okay? You take an American. Americans have become selfish, lazy, and idiotic. And that's just to be nice about it. They want $1 billion to do a $10 job, okay? But now you get a foreigner. He'll come over here. He or she will come over here, and they will do the job 10 times cheaper than an American will, okay? So when you put it into perspective, who are you going to hire, Terry? If you had your budget, your account, and you saying, I need this worker, are you going to hire the high-price help, or are you going to get the low-end great worker who's going to appreciate the job? What are you going to do?
I'm going to work with who I can work with. It's to me, it's about the quality of the person that I'm working with, and if they're worth what I'm willing to pay.
Man, wait, Terry,
I can't say I'm not going to hire some foreign person for less money just because I have to pay them less money. I will most likely.
No, let's
You're
be honest.
a small business.
I'm
a small business, so and that's my mentality. Now, if I were a big business, I would probably, hire all the cheap little Mexicans or whatever, and go to the top, and that's how they do it. They undercut everybody, but I'm not like that. So
Terry, that's a backward statement. Okay, now let's break Terry's statement down, and then we're going to go to break. Let's break Terry's statement down. Terry said that if she was a big business with a lot of money, she would hire the small-time wetbacks or whatever she wants to call these people, these foreigners. She will hire them and pay them a little bit of money. But if she's a small business.
No.
Yes, you did.
That's what I'm saying. The big businesses do. But I said I'm not like that. I'm the small business, and I would rather hire somebody and pay them a little bit more to have quality help with somebody that I can understand.
And again, Terry, I say that's where you're backwards, because if you're a small business, you have a small budget. Why would you want to waste all of the little bit of money that you have in paying somebody who wants more than the job is probably really worth, wherein you can get 10 times more work done by hiring somebody who's going to be less cheaper? If you use the economics of the situation, to hire a foreigner to do the job is much cheaper, much easier, much more simplistic than hiring one of these Americans who I call women workers. You know how they have to get the nails done, their hair done. They have to be all, G'd up, just to take them out. Wherein a foreigner say, hey, man, just give me a couple of dollars and I'll get the job done. That's just my opinion. Now, if we want to stop the foreigners from getting our jobs, then maybe we need to either do two things. One, reevaluate ourselves and say, hey, look, I'll take the job, get paid what I feel that a person can pay me at a fair wage, or I'm going to basically have the businesses just say, hey, look, I'm just going to just go bankrupt and just hire Americans. You're listening to Enlightening the Mind. We'll be with you all back in a moment.
Enlightening the Mind is sponsored by the support of listeners like you. If you would like to spread the message of enlightenment to others, please donate. To do so, log on to www.enlighteningthemind.com for more details.
Hi, I'm Terry Gillis, and you're listening to Enlightening the Mind, part of the Truth Seekers Network. You can catch us at twitter.com/enlightenminds and facebook.com/enlighteningthemинdradio. Check us out on our website, enlighteningthemind.com, for all the information and programs affiliated with our show. You can become a member. It's free to join. Become a part of the winning team that's spreading the message of true enlightenment to others. Our goal is to ultimately take back the earth from those who are deceiving us all and enlighten the world, and we can only do it one member at a time.
The Mayan calendar predicted the world would end on December 21st, 2012. But could they have had the date wrong? Could the world end sooner? And is President Obama really the Antichrist prophesied in the book of Revelations? We'll discuss this and the hidden prophetic symbols that are all over mainstream media and television next week, live on Enlightening the Mind on Blog Talk Radio. Or you can catch our podcast replay on our website, enlighteningthemind.com.
You're listening to Enlightening the Mind. I'm your host, Stacey Harris, and we're having a very vibrant discussion about, is the American dream just that, a dream? And, you know, and listening to our panel and trying to get a feel for you guys, man, I respect your loyalty. I think you guys are trying to be loyal to this country because you guys still have hope. But I'm here to let you guys know that I honestly feel the way that it is going now, it's hopeless. I mean, I don't see where we can rise out of this because we don't have the leaders that can get through this here. You guys are still... Go ahead.
Excuse me, Stacey, you've made comments before as well. I don't mean to cut you off. You made comments before, though, that you are also tired of, you know, some of the same repetitious movies, for example, that are coming out, and that they don't allow new ideas and new creators up into the industry. You have to be attached to someone or have attachments or something like that, or be a part of their inner circle. And, I mean, so I would say, yes, they're not. The American dream is nothing but what it is, an illusion. And I mean, they're not allowing everybody a fair chance at success. That's what I believe. It's not everybody's, I guess you would say, laziness or that's holding them back. I mean, some people can really see the light of the trees that is the case.
No, they can't, Chris.
Really,
no, they can't, Chris. And here's the point: if that was the case, Chris, man, okay, and let's call an apple an apple, and orange an orange. Let's just look at it straight. Nail hit the coffin. Okay, everybody on this panel, everybody in the world, man, they have televisions, they have internet, they have intellect. They can understand, dude, your government is doing so much stuff to destroy you. Man, you can't tell me that you guys elect people that's supposed to have your best interest at heart, and you guys are in financial corruption. You can't tell me that a government or anybody that cares about you is going to take your money, i.e. Social Security, and they're going to say that Social Security is broke when every time you get a paycheck, you put money into the Social Security account. But now Social Security is broke, but Americans don't ask, where's the money? Okay, Brother Ital said, it is what it is, man. We're fine. The aliens are going to come in a couple of weeks, and it's going to be done. But, see, that's not the mentality we should have. We should say, while you are here today, you live for today. Jesus said it best. Don't worry about tomorrow. You worry about today. How can God, okay, everybody sit here and say that God is going to tell me, you know, when I stand in front of God, I'm going to say, God, I was a good soldier because I took my butt whipping like a man. You don't have to take a butt whipping. You get rid of those who are punishing you. Case in point, let's go to the fact that, let's talk about this bullying in school. Let's talk about these children, okay? Why is bullying a big pandemonium in these school systems? Because the parents are not teaching their kids to stand up for themselves because they're not standing up for themselves. Do you guys agree? Sarah, let me bring you into this point. What are your thoughts on that?
You know, I'm going to have to say, yeah, we're not really accepting responsibility for ourselves. Doesn't it always boil back down to that? Don't we always need to stand up for ourselves and what we believe in? Aren't we being bullied by the government, thereby living an example and showing children that if you're the big guy, you can win?
Right, sir, and this is a good point, and I'm going to turn this over to Chris and Brother Ital, and I'm even let you get in, Terry, but here's the point. God and Brother Ital, you're a spiritualist, and you believe in the higher power and the being. Well, then let me ask you this. Didn't the higher power say that your lives will be foreseen through your children? Well, let's look at how your children are, okay? If a child is the perfect representation of their parents. Now let's look at what these children are doing. They're crying. They want to be gay. They want to turn themselves into something they're not. They're getting beat up in school, and they want to commit suicide. They are failed, doomed society. Isn't that what we have become? So why shouldn't you not expect this type of behavior in your kids? Terry, you asked to come on. Terry, let me hear what you have to say about that. Then I'm going straight to Brother Ital. Go ahead, Terry.
I believe that a lot of it is what they've seen on TV, they see in the papers. It's a lot of that, and in their own homes. I mean, it's what they see in school, the bullying. You know, it's a lot of its reaction to either neglect or abuse, or maybe even just wanting attention. There's a lot of different things. I think that play into
Terry,
that.
Okay, Terry, first of all, what you said they see on TV, then it's your fault for letting your child watch that on TV in the first place. Second of all,
in fact, I didn't mean TV.
Okay.
I'm saying generally, though.
But the bottom line is, where's the parenting? Where is that person that says, I'm your guider? I'm your guider. Don't follow the world.
What we're saying is
trying to keep food on the table.
Go ahead, any one of you guys.
It's part of the human condition. It's part and parcel of the human condition. The fact that we're watching TV instead of living our lives in constant contact with the earth and those around us. You know, that's disturbing to me. So you have to
it has nothing to do with television, ladies and gentlemen. I've been watching TV ever since I was a child, and the first thing that my dad taught me was, look, son, if someone push you, you push him back. If someone hit you once, you hit him twice. That way he won't hit you again. You don't sit around there and go and put a gun in your mouth and say, Lord, and write a letter and say, I'm done. Okay?
We're not on your dad.
We're not teaching our kids right. And I'm going to ask you women this right here, and I'm moving on to ITAL. Women, when you guys are ladies, do you want the alpha male to be your mate, or do you want the sissy who's going to get bullied on? When you saw somebody get bullied on, was he going to take you to the prom? Straight up. This is a straight up answer. Do you want a man, or do you want what these kids have become? Just a yes or no answer. I'm going to start with you, Sarah. What do you want, a man, or do you want what these kids have become?
I like a man who can stand up for himself.
Okay, that's enough. All enough said. Terry, what about you?
I would have to agree.
Okay, so now,
yes,
ladies and gentlemen, if you want your sissy boys to get dates, then you have to start teaching them to stand up for themselves. Brother Ital, let me bring you in real quick right here. Do you not agree with what I'm saying, or do you think that we all just peace, harmony, love, and happiness? Go ahead.
Well, let me put it in a haiku form real quick.
We
must wake up. We must wake up and realize that we're witnessing the results of a perfect experiment. If we don't, we can be deemed insane. You see, it's like the baby in the belly of the mother. If the mother don't know the codes and the keys to teach the baby the right way, you know, we're all confused because we're saying like everybody has a right to their opinion, so we know nobody really knows. So we have to understand the dream and know the dream in order to wake up and come out of the dream.
Do you think that these children are not being taught by their parents? And if they are being taught by their parents, are their parents teaching them the wrong way? Yeah, let me hear your thoughts on that, Brother Ital.
Yes, I mean, I just can't find no other way to say it than the way I just said it. I mean,
it's just yes or no. Are they teaching their children right?
I must say no. They're not, because they don't know, and then you get a hello.
Chris, let me hear your thoughts on that. I agree with Brother Ital. Let me hear your thoughts on that, Chris.
Well, from listening, I have to say that just as a company is only as good as its employees, parents are only as good as their kids. And most
wait, you have it wrong.
Most of these,
your kids are as good as their parents. The parents teach the kids. You make it seem as though the kids are teaching the parents.
Yeah, but you guys don't realize that the parents aren't teaching their children.
What I did mean is that the kids are a direct reflection of the parents, in my point of view. So a lot of these parents, you have to understand, that have had kids were kids themselves when they were pregnant or conceiving a child. So, I mean, a lot of these parents don't even know how to be parents.
All righty, Chris.
Let alone be the shepherd of their household or a guider for the kids.
Sarah, I'm going to let you make the last point. Please be brief. I have to definitely get ready to close the show. So I'm going to let you have the final word on this. You said that we aren't teaching it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I firmly believe that if we were actually teaching our children, if we were fully responsible for our children, then maybe actually, we have to go back to the bigger picture. Once again, we're chasing the American illusion instead of concentrating on ourselves and our families. And as long as we're busy chasing a materialistic dream and not concentrating on the inner selves and our circle, then we're doomed. We're going to continue to repeat the same cycle. History will continue.
Great point. Great
One last.
On that note, we're definitely going to close the show today. I do like to thank you all for listening. I do want to give you guys this one opining message for this situation and listening to them. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very serious pandemonium or pandemic that we have going on here. I think that we all have to take this very seriously in dealing with your children. These are your offspring. These are your children. You claim you love your children, but look at how we're treating our children. Look at what we're allowing our children to do in society. If you want to better the world that you're living in, and if you do want to live the American dream, I think that you first and foremost have to start in your home with your children. If you don't have a good house, how can you have a good home, meaning the United States of America? That's my final word for today. Thank you all for listening to Enlightening the Mind. You can join us on Facebook as well as Twitter. If you missed any of the show today, you can check out our podcast. We'll be back with you all next week, same time. Until then, thank you for listening, and remember, power over the mind is power over all things. If you can think it, it can be done. Until next week, have a pleasant rest of your evening.